Coming to you live from Lincoln, Nebraska after fumbling with my headphones after remembering that I did not have a my mic in. It's me, I'm Renee Cross, and I'm your host for Today in Quarantine. I'm coming to you from Lincoln, Nebraska. This is episode 29, if you can believe it. 29 episodes of Today in Quarantine. Man, we'll have to throw a party for our 30-day anniversary, but we'll do it on Zoom. All right. Like I said, we are celebrating. Well, you didn't hear that. We are celebrating 29 days, although it's a weird celebration because, like I said, first of all, we can't really have a party about it, but we can actually just kind of celebrate internally. What are some things that, as you've been watching, that you've enjoyed about Today in Quarantine? And what are some things that you would like to know more of or hear more of? Let me know in the comments, in the live chat, or in the comments below. Either way. Um, so this week I've been talking to a friend of mine, Charmaine, who's been on the show before, twice actually. And we were talking about personalities and personality tests. There are several personality tests out there. First of all, there's the love language tests, which breaks it down into 5 different love language. There's acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, and gifts. And so there's those 5, and usually you have 1 or 2 really high ones, or maybe 3, and that's the way that you give or you show love, or that's the way that you receive love. So there's that kind of personality test, which is not really a personality test, but it definitely gets to know people better. There's the Myers-Briggs personality test, which has like 16 personalities, I do believe. Definitely, um, you could definitely do part of that, which is like there's introverts and extroverts. And there's 4 different categories, and you can be like one of 2 options. And then there's like 2 add-ons. So really, it's more like 18 or 24 personality or 20 personalities. But that's neither here nor there. Or is it? Wait, hold on. There's 4 times 2. I'd have to do the math later. Dad, help me out there. If there's 4 different categories of personalities, which each have 2 options, and there's a second option that also has 2 options. So basically, there's 5 personalities with 2 options, and you can have any combination of those. So you could have 1 out of 2 here, 1 out of 2. Yeah. How many of those are there? And Andrew, if you're watching as well, help me out. It's permutation, right? I think I remember something from high school math. All right. So there's all these types of different personalities. Getting back on track here. Different types of personalities that we see in the human mind. And for some things, for some of these tests, they say your personality doesn't change or your strengths. The Gallup Strength Test Finder they claim to be a one-time take or a one-time test. You take it once, and that's pretty much your strengths. You don't need to take it again. Whereas Myers-Briggs, I feel like you could change based on how you answer the questions. Either way, all these personality tests can be rigged, and like if you feel one way on one day, you could end up with one result, or you could end up with another day on another thing on the other day, and you end up with another result. I don't know, but it's all very confusing. Um, yeah, yeah. There's quite a lot of stuff out there about different personalities and stuff like that. So hopefully you can take the time this weekend and figure out what your personalities are. And if you're quarantined with somebody, figure out what their personalities are as well. It's an interesting discussion. I feel like my personalities have fluctuated as of late. And my brother is calling me, so you're gonna have to listen to my half of the conversation because he's called me 3 times. Hello, you're on Today in Quarantine with Renee.
Oh, it's 4 o'clock. You didn't just text that?
I was in the middle of doing my podcast, so can I call you back?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I'm home though, so all right.
Yeah. Are you parsing on good? Okay.
Yes.
You could have just texted that. You really could have.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have. All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, Jovan says hello, everybody. Um, yes, so figure out what your personality is. There's these tests are online everywhere. There's a new one, or I'm not really sure how new it is, but it's new to me, at least for the past year or so, called the Enneagram, which has 9 different personalities and branches of that. So very interesting stuff. If nothing else, sometimes people want to treat these like a zodiac or a horoscope or something like that. You know, your fortune cookie. Oh, you do this because you are a 9, or you do this because you have acts of service or something like that. But really, it's just to find out what your personality is like. So, don't think about it too much more than that. That's pretty much it. Today, I wanted to show everybody some pictures of what I've been working on in my garden. Um, and when I say working on in my garden, what I really mean is working on to become a garden. So first of all, like I said earlier in the show, I've started planting little seedlings. My cats have gotten into the box. So if you know a way to keep cats out of the garden or my seedlings, please let me know, because I might resort to hanging the box from the ceiling at this point. But anyway, I've also, in the meanwhile, been working on making a planter box. Since I live in an apartment and I can't dig up the dirt, I've made a box that I can put out in a little backyard that we have. And so I'm going to share with you what that looks like, and just kind of the process that I've gone through with it. So this is when I went to get the boxes from Home Depot, or not the boxes, the boards from Home Depot. Got some Douglas fir because apparently that's pretty good for making a box. Yeah, I had it cut in half, and so I had some 4x4s. When I made the box, I put all the pieces together at first. I realized that it did not I did not have enough pieces to finish it, so I had to go get more pieces of wood. And so I finished it up, put some wood on the side, and if you can see over here, there's a little ledge sticking out, and I really like that feature of it. I'll show you more later, but I painted it with some white in the back on the top and left the middle unpainted because you don't want paint in your soil, because then paint's going to get into your dirt, and then paint's going to get into your plants, and then that means paint's going to get into your food. You don't want to be eating paint. So I didn't paint the middle. So yeah, so I have this ledge down here. You'll be able to see more of. Oh yes, over there. I also have a kind of a pattern, which I spray painted later in my garage. So I did some green, dark purple, and yellow in the garage. Painted it. I really like the way that those colors come out. And so my brother actually helped me with the design with the tape earlier. So yeah, this ledge that I was talking about, the thought occurred to me to cut off the edge of it because I was thinking, maybe I won't need it. But then I was thinking, I can use that ledge to kind of put things, to set things. Like if I'm watering, but I need to weed, I put the watering jug right on the ledge of that. And so it worked out really well. Of course, I would love to say I planned it that way. I was like, oh yeah, I'll need these types of boards to just to get a ledge, but now it just kind of happened. So there you have it. This is it in my backyard, finally. I really like the way it came out. It did take a very long time to get this to stand up. I discovered very quickly that it's much easier to do when you are standing, or when you have two people, because I tried to raise it up by myself, and it's fairly heavy. So I tried to raise it up by myself, and I couldn't. And every time I raised it up, one of the legs would fall off, and then another leg would fall off, and so just a huge disaster until I finally was able to call my brother, and he came over and helped me out with it. So it actually went pretty well. Pretty proud of this little garden. And see, this ledge works out really well. Look at that little box sitting there. It'd have to sit on the ground otherwise. Who wants to put things on the ground? So yeah, that's kind of my bit of garden news for you guys. It's been a really cool experience to kind of build something with my hands. And I have not been able to do that before, but today or in the past month, I've been able to do that, which is exciting. So yeah. Alrighty, it is time for the weather report. Today in Lincoln, Nebraska, yesterday I told you it was snowing. It did snow quite a bit, I think about 5 inches. And today is a beautiful day. It's in the upper 40s, lower 50s. Sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Almost all the snow is melted away. It's about half melted away at this point. Gotta love Nebraska. If you don't like the weather, just wait. And it'll change. Or if you like the weather, just wait. It will also change. And now it's time for the show, part of the show that I know you've been looking forward to, or maybe not looking forward to. You never know. It is time for dad jokes. Ah, man, oh man, oh man. All right. How do you get a squirrel to like you? We'll just warm up with this one. Act like a nut. That was pretty bad, that one. I'll admit that one was pretty bad. Oh, I found this really funny story, actually. And Easter was just behind us, so not too far ago. But this story was on Instagram this morning. I just attended the best Passion play of the Passion of the Christ play. As they were nailing Jesus to the cross, the entire thing broke. The entire cross broke. No one knew what to do, and it got really quiet. Finally, one of the guards on stage said, "You get out of it this time, Jesus." Ah, boy. That was really funny. What kind of cheese? What kind of cheese is, or what do you call cheese that's not yours? First of all, is nacho business, and second of all, it's nacho cheese. Hey, how does a penguin build a house? It glues it together. But recently, I've been actually reading a book about anti-gravity, and I just can't put it down. Ooh, man. That was a good one. That was good. There's some really good ones that are just, worth repeating. Why can't you hear a psychiatrist using the bathroom? Because the P is silent. Oh, boy. Oh, man. All right, last one for today. Did you hear about the circus fire? It was intense. Which actually reminds me about another one. So, sorry, I know I said that was the last one, but it's never the last one, as I tell my band students. Why can't you run in a campground? You can only ran because it's past tense. That's been Dad Jokes with Renee today. I hope you've enjoyed this segment because I surely have. And I'm just glad to be here on the show for the last 29 days, talking to you all and just chatting it up. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside, wash your hands, and we'll see you tomorrow in quarantine for another episode of Today in Quarantine. Bye, everybody.